Experiences with intermittent fasting and why I think it is so tremendously effective at feeling great. At feeling great? What am I fucking talking about? Good evening. Well, actually, you get to see this on Wednesday, tomorrow, and it is actually Tuesday night, so good day. As promised, from here on out, every Wednesday, if you have a question, I will answer it to the best of my ability and give you my own personal opinion. So, a couple of you have actually reached out with some questions, and today I want to talk about why I think that intermittent fasting is perfect for busy professionals with a super busy schedule, and why it's helped me stay lean and save time and feel amazing. Obviously, it's no surprise that the fitness industry is filled with people trying to sell supplements, give you new amazing tips and tricks, and there's so many different fad diets everywhere. And so the first time I heard of intermittent fasting, I too thought that it was just another bullshit diet fad. It was ineffective, and it was just somebody trying to make money and invent something that actually doesn't work. But implementing intermittent fasting has helped me save time, it's helped me stay lean, it's helped me enjoy the food that I'm eating, and it's helped me stick to something consistently, and it's worked really, really well. The point of this is not for me to regurgitate some sort of scientific facts I've read somewhere and sound super intelligent and clever. I just want to give you my own personal opinion and be really authentic with it. But I will link a couple of articles and maybe spark your interest for you to do your own research. And I highly recommend that you never listen to just one source. Don't just listen to me. If I can inspire you, answer your questions, and give you my opinion and share with you my own experiences, then great. But never just trust one person. Don't be lazy. Try different things, because not everybody is the same. Everyone's got different genes, and different things work for different people. Enough of the waffle. Let's get into intermittent fasting. What is it, and why do I think it's great? Really, it's quite simple. It does what it says on the tin. You go for a period of time where you're fasting, i.e. not eating, and then you have a feeding window. And there's three main protocols. The first one's called ADF, alternate day fasting, where you go for a period of 24 hours of fasting, 1 to 3 times a week. Then there's an approach called the warrior diet, which is super popular. If you Google it, you'll find lots of info on it. Basically, you go for 20 hours of fasting, and then you have a 4-hour feeding window. And then the most popular approach was kind of brought into the fitness scene by a company called Lean Gains. And there, the fasting period and the feeding window are split into 16 hours of fasting and then 8 hours of feeding or eating. And that is the approach that I have found most effective, and I was actually able to work into my busy lifestyle. Many people believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. In fact, society believes it, and as children, I remember my mom always telling me, eat your breakfast or you're not going to have a good day. And yeah, society kind of believes that you must wake up in the morning, you must have a large, healthy meal, and then have a productive day, and that without it, that you're going to die, or you're going to burn muscle, or you're going to faint, or whatever. In fact, I'm a little bit of a sort of cynic, and I always question why the things are the way they are, and that's not really part of this blog, but I think a large part of why we believe that we have to eat all the time is because food and marketing companies are trying to sell us more food, and so they're constantly inventing all these different snacking occasions, from pre-breakfast to breakfast to post-breakfast to pre-lunch to lunch to post-lunch to mid-afternoon to I don't know what. They're going to just keep creating these occasions, and they want to market foods to you that are allegedly healthy, and you have to consume them all the time, and if you don't eat enough, you're all going to die, and yet everyone is fucking fat. Rant over. Nowhere does it say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. In fact, it's not any more important than any other meal, And intermittent fasting also doesn't say that you should absolutely not eat breakfast. It simply says you have a 16-hour fasting period and then an 8-hour feeding window. And how you do that is totally up to you. But for me, if I sleep and then wake up and extend my fasting period into the afternoon and then have my first day, psychologically I have something to look forward to, and I've kind of trained my body on a hormonal level not to crave food before then. And the shorter the feeding window, the easier it is to hit a caloric deficit. Yes, there have been a number of studies on intermittent fasting, but before I just randomly pull out information and make it out to be the absolute truth of everything, I think I'd just like to caveat that if you look at these studies and you look at the sample size and you look whether or not the studies were conducted on animals or on humans, or if the sample size is actually large enough for it to be 100% scientifically conclusive without any doubt, then you find that that is often not the case. And think about it. Is it really that easy to find a large enough sample size of humans on intermittent fasting and track and monitor them for long enough until you 100% without any doubt can understand exactly what happens to the body? It just simply isn't that easy. I think we're a couple of years away from understanding 100% exactly what happens to the body on intermittent fasting. Like with so many things, science is like especially in fitness, and that's why there's so much bro science. We're just a few years away from research that's 100% foolproof. That doesn't mean you shouldn't pay attention to these studies, but you should just be aware that not everything you read is 100% accurate. So some of the main benefits, I think the main benefit, if I'm just coming at it from sort of my own experience, hunger control. I love to eat a lot, and I find it really hard to not eat the food that I like for very long. But with intermittent fasting, every day I have a big meal to look forward to, and that leaves me emotionally satisfied and lets me stick with it for longer. Instead of eating all these, small meals, like I've tried that approach of sort of, the bodybuilding, prep your food, carry Tupperware containers around with you, but then on an individual basis, each meal never actually leaves you full or emotionally satisfied. You eventually break down, you pig out, and then you feel shit about yourself, and it's just not sustainable. And a lot of these bodybuilders or physique athletes, they will diet down to a certain body fat percentage. They'll go on stage and then they'll just kind of rebound right back into, not looking as good as they do when they're on stage, because it's not sustainable long term. Whereas with intermittent fasting, you are doing something that leaves you emotionally satisfied and you can stick with it for longer. So besides appetite control, there are a range of different benefits, health benefits that come with intermittent fasting. A lot of anecdotal evidence of people like me who've tried it, who swear by it. For me, compared to other approaches and other ways of dieting, I noticed myself getting lean and getting lean fast. And it was not just because it was so much easier to consistently hit that caloric deficit, but these studies have shown that there's elevated growth hormone levels and there's increased fatty acid oxidation, a boosted metabolism through the release of both epinephrine and norepinephrine, and there's less glucose in the bloodstream throughout the day. But when you do eat, there's an increased insulin sensitivity, which basically means that the body is a lot more efficient at absorbing nutrients from what you eat. And I guess I obviously haven't tested myself scientifically, and I'm not just giving you scientific waffle, but reading about it and experiencing it, it kind of makes sense. I guess if the body is this sort of engine, if there's a fasting period, I feel like my body isn't busy digesting. I don't feel gassy. I don't feel heavy. I don't kind of feel, there's a lot of blood in my stomach doing other things while I'm trying to concentrate. I wake up in the morning, I stay hydrated, I feel mentally alert, I get my stuff done. And I'm in the catabolic fat burning mode, that state of the body. And then as soon as I put food into the body, the switch kind of is turned, and the body then absorbs nutrients of the food and energy from the food that I've consumed. And the process is then such that the blood goes to the stomach and I start digesting. The body does what it needs to do, it eliminates, and then, you can rest and do the same thing again the next day. And comparatively, when I'm eating constantly and the body's constantly digesting and I'm eating more and more food, not only is it easier to go over the caloric intake, but your body is constantly busy and doing things. So from having tried it and compared it with other approaches, it is easier to do because you have to worry less about when to eat. And when you're used to it, your hormones are kind of primed to it and you don't get hunger cravings. And it's actually healthy for you as well. So I'm going to link a couple of studies in the description. And I'm not trying to force anything on you. All I'm saying is that somebody who's been interested in fitness for a very long time, and I've tried many different approaches, this one is one that I've been able to stick with consistently, and I do get strange looks. What, you're skipping breakfast? That's not healthy. You should be eating all the time. And, if you overcome all that and you push your first meal back a couple of, hours, and you kind of gradually build it up, then it can be tremendously effective. And I guess I do more videos and be a lot more sort of prescriptive with what I do. This was just a broad video kind of covering the topic of intermittent fasting, some of the benefits I've felt, and basically one of the main secrets of how I'm able to live a busy life and still feel lean and healthy. So if you've enjoyed that, let me know. Leave a couple of comments down below, hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube, send me more questions, and let me know your thoughts. If this was useful, great, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care.